The dawn of the Islamic Golden Age in the 7th century was profoundly inspired by the sacred instruction to seek and share knowledge throughout one's life. As the Islamic influence grew, so Muslims spread their love of learning and invention. With open minds they engaged the cultures, knowledge and ideas they discovered over this expansive terrain. Arabic was commonly spoken and written by most Muslims, and so the sharing of knowledge knew few limits. The Islamic reverence for learning and the learned could also be seen in the avid support from caliphs, princes, princesses, and wealthy merchants. These men and women were the funders and architects of institutionalized learning and innovation throughout the Islamic world. Mosques, the first building in every village, and the heart of Islamic social and religious life, quickly became a substantial place of learning. As early as 653 CE, mosques housed schools called madrasas, where religion and law were taught together. By the 9th century, most mosques throughout the Islamic world had a madrasa associated with them. The introduction of papermaking in the 8th century added to this rapid growth in learning, as the publication of books, maps and calendars meant that knowledge could now be shared easily and widely. In 841 CE, Fatima al-Fihri, a well-educated young princess and daughter of a successful businessman, used her inheritance to build the first mosque university at Al-Qawariyin, Fez, Morocco, and other universities soon followed in Baghdad and Cairo. These universities were dynamic international institutions, filled with scholars and teachers from all over the Islamic world and beyond. They had phenomenal libraries and collections of instruments, and scholars enjoyed free lodging, structured teaching, and graduate certification. Studies at these universities included the Quran, law, astronomy, geography, engineering, geometry, trigonometry, chemistry, medicine, pharmacology, zoology and botany, grammar, prose, and poetry. But long before universities, under the patronage of 4 generations of caliphs, Muhammad al-Mahdi and al-Hadi, Harun al-Rashid and al-Ma'mun, Islamic scholars would gather in Baghdad from all over the world to share and grow knowledge. This rich intellectual gathering became known as the House of Wisdom and attracted the best Islamic minds and polymaths from throughout the world. In its early form, it was a single hall. By the 9th century, under the leadership of al-Ma'mun, it became a vibrant science academy. Building on the intellectual heritage created by his forefathers, al-Ma'mun negotiated with the king of Sicily for the manuscripts of the Sicilian library, and with the Byzantine emperor for the manuscripts of the great Greek intellectuals. Back in the House of Wisdom, the great works of Ptolemy, Aristotle, Hippocrates, Galen, and many others were meticulously translated into Arabic, studied, amended, and significantly expanded upon. Among the House of Wisdom's geniuses of the time were the 3 Banu Musa brothers, who were engineers, mathematicians, and inventors of trick devices. Al-Khwarizmi, the father of algebra, Al-Kindi, a philosopher who invented decryption and musical theory, Sa'id ibn Harun al-Khatib, a scribe and writer, and Hunayn ibn Ishaq al-Abadi, physician and translator. Al-Ma'mun also gave astronomy the patronage and impetus it needed to become a major science. He was the first person to establish and formalize working observatories, and subsequently many more sophisticated observatories were built throughout the Islamic world. These observatories were massive, with continuous observational programs, directors, and a specialized staff of scientists. Islamic hospitals, established by rulers and wealthy patrons, also played an important educational role. The first Muslim hospital opened in Damascus in 706, and Cairo's 13th century Qalawun hospital treated up to 4,000 patients a day. These hospitals, which were open to all who needed care, were the most modern in the world. They had outstanding facilities, libraries, innovative surgical instruments, and cutting-edge treatments. They had dispensaries and pharmacies, and rigorous medical teaching programs and internships. While a wide variety of learning institutions provided a nurturing and supportive structure for all learning, it was Islam's tolerance and respect for all knowledge, no matter where it came from, that stimulated groundbreaking Muslim advances in science, medicine, engineering, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, art, and architecture. The unifying perspective of Islam also cultivated an integrated approach to diverse forms of knowledge. And so, often a breakthrough in one area of science or study led to a breakthrough in others. Central characters in these cross-disciplinary breakthroughs were the polymaths like Al-Biruni, Al-Khwarizmi, Ibn al-Haytham, Abu Musa Jabir ibn Hayyan, Al-Kindi, Abbas ibn Firnas, Al-Hathin ibn Sina, Umar Khayyam, and many others. These men were the core genius of this time, co-producing a legacy that would benefit humanity forever. The distinction of Islamic intellectual prowess was the emphasis on rigorous empirical observation and the practical application of knowledge through innovation. These principles were fundamental to the prodigious development and application of new knowledge and prolific innovation, laying the foundation for a modern and harmonious society. As we look back on this golden era, we begin to see and acknowledge the key architects of our modern-day life. Our schools, universities, our hospitals and healthcare systems have all been profoundly shaped and informed by this remarkable era of enlightenment and human achievement. The learning institutions of this great time have become the foundation of modern life in the 21st century.